Hey, Slutty Youth families, hope that you're doing well wherever you are, whenever you watch this video. So, people want lots of things in their life. We want to have the things that we need. And one of the things that's a very basic human trait, I think that we all want, is a little bit of power. We want control. We want the ability to influence the outcomes of our lives. We want to have the ability to weather the changes that come at us because the world is a scary place. And so the temptation of power, of control, is one that's pretty common to almost every human being. We want that ability to control what we do. Now, maybe as a teenager, you feel like you don't have a whole lot of that. So you try to influence your parents to, do the things that you want. But in the passage we're going to talk about today, we find some disciples who are in a very similar situation. In Acts 2, verses 1 through 20, we find the disciples after the resurrection of Jesus just waiting on the gift that Jesus promised. And I don't know about you, but I don't like waiting. I'm not particularly the most patient person. I want things to kind of happen when I want them to happen. And the disciples were having to wait in this case. And when they did gather together and wait, the Holy Spirit showed up in an amazing way, a way that we call Pentecost today. The gift of the Holy Spirit came in a mighty way, in a sound of wind, in tongues of flame, in languages being spoken, in people's lives being forever changed by this event, including ours. This is the beginning of the change that has come to all of us believers. And a couple of things I want to note about this. First is that the disciples in this situation are not powerful in the world's eyes. Their leader's been killed. They're not yet proclaiming that he's been raised from the dead, and they're powerless. They have no influence. They have no money. They don't have any of the things that we normally associate with having power. But yet they have power from God that they are given. And that power is not for their own use, it's for the use of being witnesses. It's for sharing the gospel with the world. It's for sharing what Jesus has done in their life. It's for sharing just how much love God has for us. That's what the power is for. It's not for our own use, it's for God's use. And also want you to notice that this happened when they were gathered together, when they were in the same place together. And our gatherings as Christians are places where God can do amazing work if we show up expecting it to happen. If we show up distracted and worried about other things, we may miss out on the blessings that God's prepared to give us, on the power that God's prepared to give us, on the work that God's prepared to do to change our lives. So when we gather in worship and gather at youth, there's a reason we do those things beyond just having something to do. It's so that we can be together and we can learn from each other and we can see God's Spirit moving among us as a community. So I hope that as we go through the summer, that when there are opportunities for you to be here for worship or youth events, that you'll take advantage of that. And that even when we're having fun or singing songs or all the things that we do, that you will see God working in those events and that you will keep your heart open for what God has to say to you through those things. Just like the disciples did, they were waiting expectantly for that to happen, and God showed up and changed the world. So thank you for watching. Hope that you are having a wonderful summer. Know that you are loved. We will see you soon.